Session 3 of 3, Retrocember Rolemaster on a Sunday. Way too much sugar, way too much caffeine. Got that going on here. Gonna have that carry me through here as we get towards the holidays. And we are playing the Slumbering Ursine Dunes, and the crew, this particular crew, has made their way and found a location they are looking down on, and I'll set that up in a minute as to where they are. But I'm going to have them do their 30-second, this is who my character is pitch, just so we have that for posterity. And let's start with Ilberd.
Okay, I am Ilberd, the now Beast Slayer. So we did that last time. Always got to kill a beast. Yeah, just trekking through the dunes with the rest of these people. I'm not sure. We're kind of like going with the flow, I guess.
Okay, that's sort of the hippie adventuring. That's fine. That sounds good. Okay.
Keeping alive.
Yep. Yeah, and you guys fought some things last time, and once again had spectacular luck for yourselves versus my lousy luck. So maybe that'll turn around this time. We'll see.
Hopefully not.
We'll find out. And next we have our mentalist, Semyon. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm playing Semyon Petrov, human mentalist. He's a dashing and charming socialite and a high-end expensive cat burglar. So you can see how those skills would serve him well out in the abandoned dunes filled with monsters and ruins. But we have definitely 100% no faults, no mistakes found our way to the Temple of the Bear God. That's 100% what's over the next dune, no questions. And so the treasure is almost within our grasp, and then I can go back and sleep somewhere with, beds and real food and nothing that stinks like centaurs.
That certainly seems like an aspirational hope for your character. Whether that entirely will be the case, we'll find out.
Truth. Concrete truth.
Yes. Let's then have our introduction to our bard, Bogumil.
I'm playing Bogumil, a half-elf bard. He's definitely a hippie, long-haired, unshaven, peace-loving, carrying a lute that is scratched with the sides of many gigs, and that's him.
Awesome. And lastly, our most violent member of the group, or most destructive. I think the Beast Slayer probably counts as most violent, but most destructive is Wildemir, the least talented.
Yes, Wildemir is a sorceress. She has 7 sisters, and she's the youngest of them, and they have laid many curses on her over the short life that she has lived so far. She's 14, but cursed to look like 9. She's set out on this journey in order to find some way to relieve some of the curses. And oddly enough, she, with a, how should we say, 14-year-old destructive powered mindset, has ended up surrounded by 3 of the most pacifist adventurers you could ever imagine, which is a little bit confusing. Also, strangely, the bard is very cute. And she found an egg, and it's her destiny, and she's very excited about that. And she took an arrow to her gut last time, and that was not expected. She hadn't written that into her diary ahead of time, so confusing.
Fair enough. And you have recovered from a said arrow injury, I believe, for the most part.
That's right.
Okay. So there was, in the first session, the incident with the egg and some fights against the centaurs. Last session, there was a kind of a rolling along, and there was a movement towards the ocean, towards the bear temple, air quotes for that. And you encountered a grue, which you dispatched heartily. And then following that, you were able to deal with an ambush of Eld. And you have gone along and headed along the path, and you've hit the edge of sort of a cliffside here. And you can see in the distance the ocean, and there's kind of a switchback you can see that goes down the cliff, and down on the shoreline below, you will see this enormous golden barge. Very top heavy. It's clearly like 60 feet up onto the beach. It's clearly very badly beached here, though it doesn't look particularly seaworthy. It's about 300 feet long, and it has at its front a couple of dragon heads that go up, and then on the ship itself, you can see there's a great dome. There are two sort of closer facing towers that look like they might have once had onion domes on them that are broken open. Back further is another sort of offset tower. You can't see if it's broken from here. And then there's a larger tower. And if you actually look in roll 20, this is the picture that is on the cover of the module, and I've put the picture there. So that is what you're seeing of that ship. It's golden as the light catches it. There's a kind of etherealness to it that doesn't quite feel of this world entirely. And those of you with a sensitivity to magic will definitely feel magic coming off of this thing. So my question is, do you wish to go down the switchback? Do you wish to do anything before you go down the switchback? Or do you wish to go back the way you came? Because this is clearly not the temple.
But you don't know that. Temples come in all shapes and sizes, and dragons are very nearly bears.
Very nearly.
As a,
at time to time.
Up on the cliff face, maybe as a bit of a flashback, at the very end there, the last one, I had dumped a lot of points into some questions, mind control questions for the various had helpless.
Yeah, let's start with that.
So I don't know if other people want to throw in questions, but I suppose the first one I'd want to ask him is that lovely glowing aura over the dunes. That's definitely the Temple of the Bear God, right?
No.
Simeon looks shocked and stunned, and his whole world is just sort of falling apart. But it's filled with expensive things, right?
Yes.
Well, Simeon looks satisfied, looks around it. Any other questions for the horrible smelling thing with the wonderful dress sense?
Can you only get yes, no?
Target must answer a single concept question truthfully.
How do we get in?
How do we get into the golden thing of not bear expensiveness?
There is a front door.
Oh.
And there are towers that are broken open.
Good.
Bogan has an arrow sticking out of his shoulder, I think. And he asks, what does happen if I remove the arrow?
You'll bleed?
It's good. I'll pat him on the shoulder. You're really helpful, friend. That's very nice.
He's still just furious. He would very much like to kill all of you sub-elders.
How about, where are the rest of your people?
They are in various locations around the dunes.
Where's the main camp?
We've taken over the top of the Tower of the Bear God. We're using that as camp. Ley lines.
So rude.
And I don't know. I suppose we're just
I was going to say, so which direction is the temple to the bear god if this doesn't happen to be it?
And he'll point to the east. It is that way.
Well, assuming an absolutely miraculous set of casting rolls and just abysmal resistances on his part, that was all 7 of my points.
Oh,
okay.
Dang it. We didn't ask if that was the Eld ship.
I'm sure you can still ask. I don't think he'd probably answer. He'll probably spit at us at this point.
So yeah, back up on the cliff, Simeon is looking very torn between the obviously shining golden beautiful thing in front of him and the potentials off to the east. Oh, the east.
So is it a matter of do we go for what we know is there versus do we go for what is probably booby-trapped over to the east?
Said there were definitely expensive things in here, so, I mean, we're already here. It would be rude not to stop in and rob a little bit at this point.
So we've got a goal, and we're getting distracted.
That sounds like the case. Yeah, I think that's a good assessment.
And Wildemar stops and she goes, well, Simeon set the goal, so if he changes the goal, then is that getting distracted? I don't know.
I think you've got a good point there.
Exactly. It's all just following the plan, people. This was always the plan. We only just discovered it now.
It just clarified. Mm-hmm.
I have days like that.
Yeah. Step 1, enter the dunes. Step 2, through whatever, something, something, something. Step in, big profits.
Okay. That's true.
So are we checking the barge out then? Is that the plan?
Once we get the arrow out of Bougainville, I think that
Yeah, we definitely do need to do that. I'm sure that looks awful painful.
Wow, it is shocking that you walked this far with that arrow in you.
Bougainville also looted all the bodies with the arrow sticking out of his shoulder.
Got all the stuff. Now, you could, for example, camp here if you wanted to recover some hits and recover power points, and you could camp up here on the top of the cliff, or you could go down and camp on the beach, or you could fall back, or you could make your way into the barge in hopes of finding a good place to camp for the night there.
I'd be tempted to say top of the cliff is a good spot to camp. We can see several different directions if needed. And it probably is a good idea to camp. I'm down a little bit of health, and it would be good to get patched up and definitely make sure Bougainville does not have an arrow sticking out of his shoulder by morning.
Okay.
And he's not bleeding by morning.
It's a good point. We've been traveling for almost 6 hours, and I am getting rather exhausted.
And there's sand in my shoes.
There's sand in everything at this point.
I was gonna say, where isn't there sand?
Simeon's face as he looks at Wildemar. Oh, you poor thing. That's awful. Oh, I'm so sorry.
So you can camp for the night. Mark a ration.
So an awkward question arises. I'm sure, like one of you packed an extra lunch, right? I figured it would just be out in the dunes, get the temple, come back, and I could definitely pay you. I have some money.
Sure. I have one extra ration.
Wonderful, Ilbert. My
We
good
can do that.
Is this the ration that you made from the carcass?
He made 3
no,
from the
this
carcass.
is after the carcass. We had used the. I thought we had used the carcass up.
That's probably true.
Oh, it's delightful. Thank you. It's very, very lovely.
What? I assume it's more hardtack and sort of.
It's just
rations.
it's very on the road kind of food. Very, very digestible. You'll be feeling it for hours. It's good. It sits like a lump.
Every moment out here is an adventure.
So, natural overnight recovery, you can get back 12 hit points from resting, and you will get back your power points as well from resting.
Power. Oh, for
okay. And I would have. I mean, we just need an herb to stop any bleeding after we take the arrows out. So.
Yeah, those you have enough skill with your first aid that you don't have to worry about any kind of additional bleeders if that didn't come as a crit result.
Okay.
What do just the regular healing herbs do?
Regular healing herbs, I believe, one use of those will heal 3d10 hit points.
But you shouldn't need those. I have healing spell as well and a spell ladder, and I had plenty of spell points still left. So I can heal you up, just as I could heal up Boogamil.
Okay. So, that'd probably be a good idea.
Sure.
So how much worth of healing can you distribute out? You muted.
I had 8 power points, and I had my spell ladder for 2 more spells.
Okay.
I have the 4th level up, between 10 or the higher level one that costs 4 that I could cast that goes up to 30 concussion points, and I have the other one that I have is 1 to 10.
Okay. So
I can cast.
Get, what, 4 of the 3 to 30s?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
if
you want me to roll, I can do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not down a whole lot. After the night's sleep, it'll leave me 16 down from full. Full's 90.
So let's say you can spend 1 of the 3 to 30s on him and get him fully healed up.
Yeah, I got 75 points worth of healing.
Okay. And how much are you down, Boogamil?
After resting, it's 12.
Okay, so that's not bad. So we'll assume on average that you can get Boogamil healed up to full.
Yeah, before we even go to camp. I mean, before we rest at camp.
Yeah.
So.
Right. And how much are you down?
I was down like 20-something, so that was no problem. That was just a couple of heals.
So it looks to me like we can probably, on average, hand wave that, not having to roll the numbers on that. That seems the easiest way to do that. You just spend those points, get that set. Again, what does your healing look like?
Well, it kind of, sort of, like where you have the wound thing, there's sort of, it probably kind of hurts a little. It sort of destroys the wound, so it's kind of unintuitive. It's, magic, and it hurts. I don't know what to say.
And kind of painful.
Right. It's like getting rid of a bruise by punching it. So.
That's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Punch it.
Boogamil is also looking for an especially ostentatious piece of garment from the elves, like a like a new hat or something.
Oh yeah. The thing is, these hats are so odd. It probably takes you about 15, 20 minutes to figure out how you actually wear it. Because the fabric's set in a very particular way. You kind of got to fold and unfold and get it set. But yeah.
After I figure out how the right way is, I turn it upside down.
Looks even more
front to back.
stylish.
Exactly.
Oh, Boogermill, that's very transgressive. I like it. It's really suits you.
Transgressive.
You should try it as well.
I'm assuming you got that the group will take watches. Do the usual thing. You guys can rest. Even with splitting up into the different watches, the casters can recover their hit points. May I have Semyon? May I have you make a perception roll?
Oh, certainly. I'm just absolutely wonderful at those.
Good.
I'm sure this will go perfectly. It's a 47. That's a respectable number.
All right. So nothing happened during the night that you see.
It's all clear. Safe, empty area.
Absolutely. So in the morning, you will get up and gather yourselves together. And you will see, as you're kind of getting your packs tied up and things like that, you'll see kind of coming from the further east, you see this sphere in the air, maybe 20 feet around, you'd guess from the distance. And you will see there are some figures in the sphere, and they don't head this way, but they definitely angle east. They come close enough that you can make out that it just looks like some eld in a weird flying sphere. And they just go by. They don't seem to be stopping here at the barge.
I wonder if that's a patrol looking for the others that hadn't returned.
I wonder if that's expensive.
It sure looks convenient.
Yeah. Yeah, expensive, convenient, dangerous. Maybe?
Yeah, but imagine all of the sandy shoes that they don't have to deal with.
So
Yeah, until some random adventuring group knocks them out of the air. Somehow, I think I know where you're going with this conversation.
Wildemir, do you remember the elves saying something about ley lines? Maybe they use the lines to travel?
That might be it. It's certainly why they selected the tower then, because that would be some confluence there that would allow them to keep different effects up. The one thing about the barge is this might give us some idea of how they're doing things. I mean, provided that it's not highly populated by skulking elves. So if we could see how their machinery works, it means that we might be able to figure out that sphere, for instance.
Might be worth it.
I like that thought. So you're saying plan and learn a little bit before we go diving at the mystery technology.
It does sound odd now that you've mentioned it.
Huh.
Oh well.
You turn away from your usual reckless course.
Out in the desert, you try new things.
What was I thinking?
So I'm going to assume that you will make your way down the switchback to the beach down below. You will head down there. It's steep. There's no safety railing. You kind of have to keep yourself against the cliff face as you do go down. But eventually you'll make your way to the beach. There's the sound of the waves come rolling in. The beach here is kind of not the red sand of above, but more of the yellow sort of ocean sand that's come up on here. You'll see the high tide dregs that are left here, the seaweed and maybe a couple of jellyfish and that kind of thing laying about. And you can make your way up towards the barge. In the daylight, when the sort of sunlight hits it a little more straight on rather than the oblique of the sunset, it definitely has a more sort of whitish crystal look, like the materials of the outside, some light penetrates. And so you get that kind of glow from that, and like a quartz or a semi-translucent stone. You can't see through, but you can tell that there's some kind of glow. How do you wish to proceed?
Can I make a? Oh, sorry. Can I make a perception check to see if there are guards or anyone watching?
Absolutely. Let's have you make a perception check.
Let's see. Perception is 38.
Okay.
So it would be D100 plus 38.
Yep.
Oh, obviously in chat. Doesn't help. Let's see. Uh, 86.
You don't see any like guards, active guards, or anything around, and you kind of look around the beach. It's hard to tell if there's been anybody like patrolling around here because of the tide and so on. So you're not seeing anything like directly active, and you're not sure about what's going on. You kind of don't think so, but you're not sure.
Okay, can I find one of these like jellyfish that's still kind of how do you say, it's not dead yet?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna
That's
take that and I'm gonna lob it at the barge. Essentially, I want to make sure that there's not some sort of force field or anything around it.
Okay.
So
the apparently 9-year-old girl will pick up this jellyfish. They're substantial, and you do it so you don't touch the stingers, and you get it and you kind of sling it at it, and it will arc, and it will against the thing, and it hits the side of it with a wet, meaty swack, and then it kind of slides down and drops with a bloop into the water by the barge.
Awesome. I sort of giggle.
Unpleasant.
I can completely see this. I'm looking at the thing, and then from over my shoulder, this thing comes flying and hits the barge. Like,
That's one way to test.
Does it work?
Yep. All right.
Well, our dear friends with the unmatched faceware seemed unwilling to tell us about the tower entrance. Maybe that would be a good way to go in. Look around and find one of the broken towers.
Yeah, there are two towers. If you look at the picture, there are two towers. One that's closer and one that's slightly further away. There on the image, sort of, someone would have to. It's not an easy climb because it's kind of smooth, weird material. So someone would have to raise themselves up to that point, i.e., fly or levitate.
The closer one does seem closer. So let's maybe try there. I have a grappling hook and weightlessness. I'm real good at climbing things.
So someone would throw a grappling hook with you attached weightlessly to the line. Is that what I'm understanding?
No, that was not the. It's you may have slightly misunderstood. I am good at climbing. I'm not very good at flying.
If we could get, excuse me, but if we could get the grappling hook up there, all you have to do is hold on to the rope and pull yourself up. It's not like you even need any arm strength to do it if you're weightless.
Well, yes, and it sounds much less impressive if you explain it to everyone like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was picturing another jellyfish maneuver. Oh my god, this isn't.
Oh, that would be fun.
What are you people trying?
No, I saw the jellyfish.
Well, I can do a bit of climbing. I've done that before. It's not that difficult. Is there? I mean, to throw that grappling hook up there, how much? I mean, how difficult is that to get it?
So
to where it can hook onto something?
Stages.
Mm-hmm.
Have to kind of hit that midpoint and get up to that little sort of ledge part, and then try over and throw it from there. Might be tricky to balance there. I will say to have that much rope and a grappling hook would be 2 uses of adventuring gear.
Okay. I could use another use to pull out some more rope.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll swing it around and toss it at the railing.
All right. So climbing, just because of what it is, does seem like the appropriate skill for attaching a grappling hook, rather than having a grappling hook secondary skill, which would be truly jerky of me. So it's tough. It's going to be a tough throw because you're not sure what you're going to be able to catch on that ledge. So let's have you roll. And I say it's going to be a -30 to your attempt.
Well, I don't know exactly how it works in the system again, but I've been saving up my 50-point secondary for some sort of like second story acrobatic-y, some sort of skill.
If you put it in that, I will let you roll with that, and I will reduce the penalty because you have a very specific skill for that.
Cool. The second story work. No, not 550. So what was the penalty again?
It will now be just 20.
All right. Jesus, I rolled a 1.
Have a hero point you want to spend?
I do, but no.
You don't want to spend it?
No.
Can I have you roll a D100?
Well, that one's an 88.
So you will throw the grappling hook up, and it doesn't quite catch, and it comes back down, and you kind of misjudge, and it will clock you in the head as it falls back down. You're not going to take any concussion hits, but it knocks you down into the water and the sweat, sandy mud. And kind of you're laying there, 300 feet of rope, 100 feet of rope, and the grappling hook, and the jellyfish that she threw is kind of floating next to you in the water.
I look immeasurably sad.
I'll lean out. Did you mean to do that?
Yep. Yeah, that's the first step. Now step 2, when someone else throws me up there.
Bogomil approaches Semyon and puts an arm around his shoulder and says, "It's okay. I will do it. Please give me your rope." And then if Semyon agrees, Bogomir will throw with his whopping 45 in climbing.
Okay. So you're going to have a -30, so you're going to be rolling with a +15.
$101.
So it will catch up there. It is kind of loud when it hits, but it does catch on something above that ledge there. And it's set. So it feels pretty sturdy. Give it a couple of yanks, and it's set. Doesn't come flying back down and hit you.
Yeah.
Does the 101 also allows me to climb up, or do I have to roll again?
It is Rolemaster, so you're going to have to climb again. However, you have rope. Rope will give you a +25 on that roll.
Okay, I do that.
Okay.
So +25 plus 45, which is 70, I guess.
There's almost no way you could fail that. So you three are down below, and Bogomir's got the rope there. Semyon, he's kind of helped you up. Your back is damp. Your sleeves are damp.
My poor outfit.
Start climbing up, and you will get up to that sort of midpoint, that ledge there. You can see that the dome covers the sort of main part of this deck. There are some places here where you can kind of stand, but there's no like, I'm going to stand on the outside of the ship. It's very clearly all enclosed. But you will see up here in one of the spaces where there is some flat spot, there is a pile of bones. And not like just a pile, like someone has very carefully, artfully arranged and made a pile of bones, got them just right, set them at angles, set the skulls on the top kind of thing.
Is there enough room for all of us to stand?
Oh, let's say yes.
And if I look inside the pile of bones, is there something hidden inside, or is it just bones arranged?
No, it's just bones arranged. Doesn't look like there's anything inside there.
I have to assume that it is another warning, just like the tree with the bones.
Could be. So you three, Ilbeard and company, do you want to climb up this rope then?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
If I wind drift, does that give me a bonus to climbing?
Oh yeah, if you put wind drift on, I won't even make you roll. Okay. And this time you look great.
Yeah, as long as the rope's already there, he does really well. Look at that.
It's like it's like a special effect, like someone's pulling the line up behind you as you go up at that point.
Okay, so I got to make it climbing.
Yes.
With the rope, how does that affect it?
+25 with the rope.
+25 with the rope. Nice.
Mostly it's a question of time, unless you fumble and then fall.
Well, I was going to say, does that count as a fumble?
That is a fumble.
Okay.
So now you have a choice. We can go ahead and do the open-ended low and see how badly you fumble there.
Sure. Let's see how bad this goes. So how does the open-ended low work? You roll a D100
and subtract it.
And subtract that from the 69?
Yes.
Okay. roll that.
So that's
not too bad.
okay. So you're going to fall about 30 feet.
Okay, good rope burns, and
Yep.
rope burns to get myself repositioned, and it's like, okay, just testing the rope. It's 30.
And you're armor type 20 right now, right?
What's that?
What armor type are you right now?
I am 20. I have that fancy stuff on.
Yeah.
So you will land in the water, but again, this allows you to breathe in water, so you don't plate mail as you hit it, and you're just going to take 2 hits, 2 concussion points of damage.
Okay.
So I think it's time for Wildemir, the least talented, to attempt to climb.
Yeah, and here she gets to live up to her name. So let's see here.
Again, just a matter of how much time it's going to take and how much noise it'll make. Oh,
super easy, it turns out. I'm just a little thing.
Yeah, it takes you a little bit longer, certainly longer than either of the previous 2, but you will get up there, kind of scrape up. And then you wish to try again, Ilbert?
Yeah, yep. We're going to give that another go.
Again.
So same roll as before?
Yep.
And don't tell me I'm gonna fail it and I do good. So
it's slow.
Yeah, slow is better than not.
Yeah, because you're still not quite used to this armor. It's
still bulky.
Yeah, but you will get up to that midpoint there, and all 4 of you are up there now.
How far up to sort of where we need to get up to?
So you don't see an entryway sort of on the outside here.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to throw that grappling hook up onto the tower, that tower's probably 50, 60 feet up.
Okay. So essentially, if the break occurred down here, we could enter from here, though, right?
Yes.
So could I do Crack's call on the breakage up there just to extend the entry down to here?
That's interesting. Let me look at the sorcerer spells here real quick. That's solid destruction, right?
Yeah.
Falls 10 to 10, 10.
Because I'm thinking that because this kind of crystal, there's probably fractures already even going away. So
I'll tell you 2 things that
okay.
It will take at least 2 castings to do that.
All right.
And there is a risk that you could bring this whole tower down.
Okay, so I put this to the guys because if they're guarding it with that entrance up there. So this might give us a little bit of how do you say, surprise element?
Well, I would say that if they haven't heard the clanging, cursing, and splashing, I imagine a tower falling apart might ruin the surprise.
Well, no, but they wouldn't be positioned there. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the tower coming apart would probably be a bigger surprise.
Yes.
That's true. And, you know, if you destroy enough of it, maybe there would just be a big hole in front of us and we wouldn't have to climb anymore.
That was my thinking, exactly.
There is some sort of treacherous anti-climbing field around here, so maybe that's a clever way past the defenses.
That seems like a plan.
Seems dangerous to me, but
Unqualified.
that climbing was also dangerous.
So, Sherry?
Yes.
You spend your 2 castings of this.
Yeah,
So
because they cost 4, I'll use my spell adder for those.
that makes sense. And let's have you do a casting roll for this. Do you have like a spell mastery secondary skill for this?
No, I assume that was my lifetime, but do I need a spell mastery? For like skillful use? I'll do that.
That's my offer to you.
Okay, so I'm going to take the skill destruction because I've studied it.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I will. Okay, so yes, roll D 100 plus 40. Do I need to roll this twice or just once?
Just once.
Okay. So an 89.
All right. Are you happy with that roll, or do you want to spend a hero point to reroll?
I think I'm happy with it because I would have to. Yeah, I'm fine because it can easily go down from there.
So you will crack that open. Describe to me what that looks like. You're going to run a crack, about 40 feet down the side of this. Tell me what that looks like when you do this.
Well, of course, the cracks call always starts with that sort of detection where the first thing is that she casts it on the surface. Up it has range and everything, but because she's right here, she casts it on the surface itself, and essentially you see her runes go up, and wherever the cracks and the breakage is, that glows brighter for a while, and then it sort of changes. It gets brighter and brighter, and then those widen. And essentially you can see like her runes come up, like where it's pushed it apart, they come up deeper and brighter, and it's almost like they're expending the weight on what's going on.
And that crack will all the way down so that you could easily climb up. When you do that, a couple of things happen at the same time. One is that various rocks and bits and the loose parts of the onion dome up above will come down. You guys have had enough time to prepare that you can fall back and so on. So that's not too bad. The other thing is that the whole ship shakes. And when I say shake, I mean like the whole ship convulses. And reacts like the ship felt that, and it did not like it. Other thing is, you will hear a rah! And you will see, not from this tower, but from the other broken tower, this giant vulture. 2 heads, lifts off and is flapping around. Its nest clearly disturbed, and it is flying around, looking for what's happened here. What do you want to do?
So the crack in the tower, is it wide enough to slip inside and to hide from the gigantic bird?
Yes, it will be you could use a stalk and hide to get up into it and get out of the way.
So stalk and hide is 42. Let's see. Don't see it.
Slash.
$65.
Up into there. What about the rest of you?
So it's just a big dumb bird. So I'm just gonna take over its senses and give it some distraction. And it'll probably remember that it left the oven on, or that it has chicks somewhere, or that it's really hungry, or that there's a shiny thing over there, or something.
Absolutely. So you will reach out to do your sense control on this bird. It's probably within 100 feet. It's a giant two-headed vulture. So pretty potent. So let's have you make your casting roll. That's a 32, huh?
Mighty 32.
Mighty 32. Okay.
It's 31 points better than my last roll. So, I mean.
That is true. So that's that for the bonus for the casting. So let's see his. So he gets that kind of bonus to his resistance roll. Okay. So he does seem to resist that, but hasn't identified where the magic came from. Does that seem fair?
I hate two-headed beasts. They're really hard to mind control.
So right now, Bougamil is kind of climbing up to get into the crack to conceal himself. You've cast that. What are you doing, Ilbert?
I think
this is quite a beast.
Yeah, I think I am getting ready with my bow and kind of pulling back towards the crack and just getting ready if it comes too close. I'm gonna fire at the thing before it knocks me off the ledge here.
Okay. And Sherry?
I don't want to climb that rope again.
Yeah, since it's not like I'm a fleet of foot in this thing, I also will begin my preparatory spell casting so that I don't have to fast cast when the time comes if it swings towards us.
Okay. It is flying around. We're going to see if it is going to spot you and dive for an attack. There are 4 of you out in the open. Haven't made too much noise. So let's give it a decent one. Okay. So it circles around and is looking but doesn't see you right now. So that'll give you enough time that Bougamil, you can get inside and get yourself settled. And the 3 of you, what do you want to do? You've still got this looming threat. The shadow probably passes over you at least once. And Bougamil, this is a tower. There are some skeletons on the floor of it. The stairs are kind of cracked. There's a trap door on the bottom. Looks like it goes into the vessel itself. But there's nobody in here.
So I think Simeon has been very distracted by how expensive this entire ship looks and figuring out ways to try and get it home. So he now remembers how magic works and will begin preparing a spell.
Okay. And then to you, Ilbert, just still aiming and waiting?
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can usher the other 2 inside. It's like, stop with your casting and get moving. Get inside.
Wildemir?
All right. She'll try. Stalk and hide. Okay.
Stalk and hide or climbing?
Stalk and hide is better, oddly enough.
Fair.
Okay. Not fast, but not a failure. Sorry, guys.
So you'll this round you're getting into that crack. So essentially 2 of you are kind of out of sight. And it's still not seeing you.
Yes.
So right now, Wildemir, Bougamil, you're inside. You've kind of climbed up. What about you 2?
Look, hold on. This is definitely going to work this time.
Yeah, let's not provoke the thing.
As I roll to provoke the thing.
Okay.
That's a 49 casting roll.
And you're doing distraction again or something different?
No, I'm going with from Mind Attack Jolts 1 because I figured flying is hard when you're stunned. I don't know exactly how the system works, but you know.
That's an interesting
let that
thing.
whole gravity thing take over.
Okay, so you're level 4. It's 8. So it's going to need that. So let's see its resistance roll. It will drop out of the sky on this round and kind of come down and thud onto the dome and hits there and shakes off the stun pretty quick.
Wait, which dome?
The big dome that's on here. It kind of lands on that.
Oh,
it's
wow.
been circling the ship. Hits there, stunned.
Yeah, Simeon's just laughing.
Gilbert, what do you want to do?
And the Oberyn's smacking him. Get inside the tower.
Dude, it's That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. It's funny. It's funny. Get inside.
Fine.
So you're trying to move him inside. Let's cut to you two inside the tower. You've gotten in, and now you see the vulture come crashing down onto the dome and shaking its two heads, you know, and looking around. What do you want to do, Bogomil?
Bogomil is checking out the trapdoor.
Okay.
Is it possible to lift it?
Yeah, it actually looks like it'd be pretty easy to lift that up, and it goes into a rounded room. You can see again through the walls of this. There's some light coming in, and there's a door in this circular room down there. But you don't see anything in here of note. There's no guards or anything right this second. And what about you, Wildemir?
I think that I will. Let's see here. I am going to set to casting. Oh, damn it! It's just. Let's see here. I'm going to try disorient.
Okay.
Okay.
Try to fast cast disorient.
Unfortunately, I have to because that was because I climbed in here, right? So, yeah.
Let's have you roll.
So
minus 25 is even up. So I will roll its resistance.
ugh.
It is going to resist that spell. It's a big bird. It's tough. It's definitely potent and higher level.
Okay.
Try and do that. Let's come to our mentalist and our fighter. What are you guys doing?
Climbing, I'm climbing. Stop pushing. Yes, I understand. We're going.
Make either a stalk and hide or a climbing roll.
Can you use my second story work?
Sure, absolutely.
Doing that. Stalking and hiding. No, I already proved my mastery over it.
True.
75.
So you are getting up on this round. So he's sort of getting up in there, so you can't climb in on this round, Ilberd. And I assume you're still bracing, waiting with that arrow.
Yep.
Okay. You guys have cast a couple of spells at it. It's fallen. It's closer to where you're at. Right now, it's got about a 50-50 chance of seeing you. So let's roll. Let's see what it gets. And it does not. Two heads are looking around. It's like, where'd that come from? Something's going on. It's pulling its wing back because it landed badly, and it's not seeing you.
Nice. Okay.
Hilbert, I just need to make a stalk and hide roll.
Okay.
To get into the tower without drawing the attention of this giant two-headed vulture.
We got a 49.
All right. Let's roll for the bird.
Yeah, it's gonna see me.
So there is this squawk as you're climbing in. What it is you've got this brilliant blue armor on. Remember, it's beautiful.
It catches the light.
Okay,
It's great. It's very impressive looking.
Catches it, and there is this. You'll hear this gunk gunk gunk, and it is going to. One of these giant heads is going to try and beak peck at you. So
while I'm climbing, how nice.
So that is, there is in fact a beak table. Thank God.
There's a beak table.
The beak table.
This game is great.
So it's going to hit you for 10 points.
It's just a scratch. I can handle that.
Roll the bee crush.
Okay, I may not be able to handle that.
We'll see. Oh. Essentially, it knocks you forward for another 4 hits. And essentially knocks you in there. So it's kind of trying to get, maybe to get at you again. Both heads are kind of peering in. If you guys want now, the 3, you could easily pull yourselves down through that trap door and keep this bird from pecking you any further, or you could cast some more spells at it because it's really close now.
Ooh.
I know what Simeon's thinking, and yeah, I'm gonna yell at the group to kind of get down the trap door, and kind of do the same thing with the bow. I'm ready to fire. If it's going to peck me, I'm going to fire.
Okay. Do you 3 want to escape?
Or take out the bird?
I mean, glares at me and then pulls out a weapon, or Ilbert glares at me and then pulls out a weapon, so I don't know. He's getting sort of serious.
Yeah.
Wildemir, are you going down?
I am.
Bogomil?
Yes.
And Simeon?
It wouldn't be in your character.
I'll go down.
If all 3 of you rush down, then you can fall through and get through this trapdoor and slam it shut before this bird can kind of pull at the tower anymore to get at you.
Cool.
And you guys will find yourselves in this round room. And I'm gonna switch this over here. So I'm going to reveal areas on a map here on Roll20. And now that you're in the boat, the barge, the golden barge, we'll take our 5-minute break, and then we'll continue on.
Cool.
Cool.
Wasn't sure if that was a sneeze or a yawn, Patrick.
It was a yawn. I only got 12 hours of sleep last night, so obviously I'm tired.
We had the family, one of the two family Christmas thingies yesterday. So
Ooh.
a lot of people in a big room. And, like 20 minutes into it, I realized it is really warm in this room. By the end, I was just soaked with sweat. It was so hot. I don't know why. And I had layered my clothing, to stay warm. My mistake.
Oh, I swear to God, you guys, if you could see Simeon in a city, he's suave and dashing and impressive. You just wouldn't even believe it.
That's
sure.
a story that you've told. On Friday, we played Blades in the Dark, and everybody was working their specialties, and everybody was demonstrating that, in fact, they were not competent in their specialties for the evening. It went really pear-shaped.
Yeah, it was full of pears, that's for sure. I did okay on my specialties. It was everything else that went terribly wrong.
So, at the base of this tower room, you've got some of the light coming in through the walls, have that glow of that. You can hear up above that bird is still like pecking at the tower, probably knocking more bits of it down, and feeling a little bit more of those tremors in the ship as bits of that gets knocked off. So that's creating some noise and distraction. The room that you're in is, you'll kind of look as I've got it up there on Roll20, the map with the little area that you can see. It looks like on one end there is a mechanism. Like this is probably the good side of a secret door, and it looks like you can pretty easily open that mechanism and move on if you wish to.
How deep is this room from the trapdoor?
Maybe about 15 feet.
Okay. So I'm still sort of astronaut floating around, but you do get a little view of Simeon being competent as he does some like flips and twirls through the air and stuff.
So what seems to be the purpose of this room?
It looks like, well, so this is the room up to this tower. You're not sure what the tower was used for because most of it was broken, but it was clearly access to the tower was made to be more difficult. From this side, you can easily get out, but you're guessing from the other side, it's probably hard to see the door.
Okay, then when we go through the door, we'll mark it in case we have to come back through.
Sure. Can I ask sort of what the general order is? Since one of the things you'll note is that the doors are kind of narrow. They're tall and narrow, but it does mean you kind of have to go single file through a doorway. So who goes through first?
I don't have any problem going through first. I figure if something kind of sneaks up, I can probably take a hit at least once.
That sounds good. And who is immediately after you?
I think Bogomil is second.
Okay.
I'll be third.
And then covering the rear is Simeon. Does that sound good to you?
Sing along. Yep.
The door will open up when you kind of open this secret door, and it will open, and you can see on the other side is this like painting frame, really oddly designed curvature. It's like layers of wood for the actual picture that had been carved and then painted in different places, and it's very abstract. But this whole door in is that one of those paintings. And the room itself goes into whoop, that's the wrong way to do that. Goes into a square room. There's some furniture scattered around. Again, weird curves and things. It looks like eld workmanship, but old and kind of busted up. And there are various broken pieces and things in piles. The door that you see immediately across from you is set up about a foot from the floor. The bottom of it is, and it's a little bit smaller and tighter. And there actually is a circular wheel mechanism on it. So it sort of looks like a ship or a submarine door, kind of heavy turn thing
big
here.
lockable door.
Yes.
That other door, before it closes, I kind of want to disable the latch so it doesn't, that secret door, we could just push it back open.
Oh, that seems like a good thing to do. Let's see what was a good, appropriate skill for that.
For breaking and wrecking.
Breaking and wrecking.
Can't we just put some broken furniture in the way?
Yeah. Somebody comes through here and removes the furniture, and then we're stuck. I'd rather break the mechanism.
If somebody can roll disarm traps with a +25.
Excuse me, I have destruction. I could certainly advise them.
Okay.
All right, so with a +40.
So we're talking disarm traps.
Yeah, but
I was gonna say I've got 2 other secondary skills I could add disarm traps as one if nobody else has it.
I think, let me see who has it. Bogomil has it a little bit. I think that may be it.
So Bogomil, do you want to disable this latch mechanism on the secret door?
I could obviously try, but isn't this our way back potentially?
Yeah. I don't want it to close and latch so we can't get through it again.
But if we destroy the mechanism,
you thinking it's going to close and lock and we'll be stuck?
That seems a possibility.
Okay. So maybe we take a good look at the mechanism and find out how to open it easy from the other side of the door.
Does it open to the room or to the other room in the tower?
It opens out into the room.
The square room?
Then we can just switch like a piece of, I don't know, like the leg of a chair or something underneath.
Yeah, I'm just concerned somebody's going to remove that if they get in behind us and let the door latch. But
so it is not locked, but somebody could conceivably, mess with it.
Okay.
Okay, shall I roll for messing with it?
No, I think if you're just doing a simple thing, we won't need you to roll for that.
Cool. And then the second question, do we still hear the bird, or is it possible to listen at the door with a wheel?
You could attempt to listen at that. If you've shut the trap door, the bird is probably getting less interested by this point. So you can wait a couple minutes, and if you want to listen at the door, these are heavy doors, so they do kind of muffle sound, but you could certainly try and listen. So why don't you make a perception roll?
Let's see, 38. And 138.
So roll the D100 again, because you get to add it.
24.
Okay. So even with the penalty, you will listen closely, and there's something about the door and the resonance that carries. And you can hear that it must be a larger room, just by the sound of the acoustics. Sounds like maybe some scrambling, like things are maybe moving around in there. And you'd guess there are at least 3 things in there moving, human size.
I relay the information and make the international sound.
I prepare my casting.
Okay.
I've been digging through this room to see if there's anything expensive or interesting in it.
Yes. You will find that there is a box that when you kind of open it up, there's these cloths and this really, really sharp set of silverware with weird angles on it. And like, you would never make a butter knife this sharp. You would never make forks this pointy. You would never make a cutting edge on a spoon, but all of these have that. But they're weird and they're heavy and they're probably worth a chunk of money.
I will grab that and dream dreams of what's the Mystery Men character?
Blue Raja.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. You actually have to be careful because they are so razor sharp.
He's going to be running around with throwing spoons here instead of throwing forks.
So Bogomil has identified that there's people on the other side. You've got this spell prepared. What are you doing, Ilbert?
I am going to get the sword prepared.
Okay.
And be ready for when we open the door and decide to bum rush the guys on the other side.
Okay.
And maybe lean over to Bogomil. Can you tell what they're saying?
Are they saying anything?
No,
just
anything. Just movements.
I think they can't talk.
Okay.
And with that, Bogomil turns the wheel.
Okay. You'll throw the wheel open. You did so well on the perception roll. I won't have you make the roll to see if this particular door screeches with rusty metal. You kind of fling that open, throw that door open, and you will see that there's a long room that has several exits to it. There's rugs across here with these geometric patterns. Kind of they're a dark burgundy color, and then there's these patterns that run through it that you kind of don't want to look at too closely for too long. There are in a couple of spots what looks like piles of clothing scattered around that are kind of folded, but they're a little bloodied and ragged. And there's some other piles of junk, and there are 3 humanoids in here, and I have a picture of them, which I will show to you. That are kind of walking on their back legs, clawed hands, and they turn. They're kind of sorting through some of their debris in here as you enter in, and they kind of start to grin. What do you do, Ilbert?
What in the world is that? And I'm going to take off after one of them.
Okay, rush the closest one.
That thing looks dangerous.
Okay. Then let's say to get through the door and make a swing, I'll have you make your attack roll with a -25,
Okay.
and you can gauge the closest one.
Okay. Look at my skill here again and remember what it was. So at a -25, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm throwing everything into it.
Fair enough. So 112. So you're going to do 14 points to it, and you're going to do a C puncture critical. Can I have you roll your puncture crit?
32.
32. So you rush up and stab this first one and catch it in the side, and it's going to be stunned for this round. It's not going to be able to smack back at you. The skin is tougher and more leathery than you'd expect. As you kind of
like it has built-in armor.
Yeah, it's like join us, and it's grabbing to pull you in. Since you guys have the surprise round, I will go through each of your actions here. So who wants to act next? There are 2 more that are unengaged and 1 that has been stabbed by Ilberd.
I would like to hit as many of them as I can with my vacuum spell. So I'm hoping that 2 of them are grouped together.
They are kind of spread out, so you can get one of them most definitively.
Okay. Okay, so if I roll really well, though, I can get a second one, right?
So make your casting roll.
67.
That will go off.
Okay.
Then let's have you roll your B crush critical.
All right. Actually, I have to wrestle the cat who has decided that she has to be on the keyboard. So
Fair enough. We'll roll a C cat critical.
Yeah, D100. A 99.
So, blow to foe's chest, sends ribcage through heart. Foe drops and dies. Plus 20 to your next swing.
Oh, and I say, that's how that spell's supposed to work.
There's a boom, and one of these ghouls drops to the ground.
Simeon throws up a little in his mouth and says, "That's how it's supposed to work."
Who's next? Bogomil or Simeon? Have you seen this horror show before you?
Simeon, do you want to do something?
Yeah, I was gonna slow cast, but there may not be anything left alive in that room by the time I slow cast. So I'm gonna try and fast cast a charm on the one in the back of the room that hasn't been horribly assaulted yet.
Okay, make your fast cast roll.
Oh. That's a 59.
59 minus 25. So that
No, that's already.
Oh yeah, no, I'm minusing from. I'm calculating his resistance roll.
Sorry.
Sorry, no, that's me. So he's going to need a 70 or better to resist this. Oh wait, so 97, and then he rolls a 5, so that's 103, and it's open-ended low now. So that ends up being a 27 when I subtract the second roll. So he went high and then low and fails the roll. So he's like,
how did that roll work?
So the 97 is open-ended high. So I roll and add, but then I rolled a not 5, which is open-ended low. So I roll and subtract the next roll.
That's insanity.
Okay, that's screwy.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how Rolemaster works.
You critical success your way into a failure.
Yes.
Critical success into a critical failure. Yeah, that. Okay.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, pretty. Looking at you when you've cast that. Bogomil.
Bogomil's pacifism doesn't extend to undead, so he will grab a sword and plunge it into the one that I don't know. There's the one that Ilbert is engaging.
There's Ilbert. Yeah, you could certainly step up to hit that one if you wanted. The other one is charmed.
And the charmed one, is it closer or further away?
Further away.
Then I engage the one that is with Ilbert.
Okay, so you have to kind of move through the doorway and move up to where that is. So you can roll with a minus 25.
Let's see. I attack with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
And that is
One-handed edged.
85 minus 25,
Perfect.
which is 60, I guess.
Hmm.
That's 120.
120. So you're going to do 16 points and roll your C crush critical.
I've never done that. What does C Crush critical mean?
So there are 5 basic levels of crits from A to E, with A being the least and E being the highest. So C is right in the middle. You'll just roll a D100 and I'll look on my table and see what happens.
D100. 25.
25. So you catch him. Ilbert hit him sort of in the side. You follow up and hit him again. And it looks like he's going to be stunned on the next round. Essentially kind of catch him there. Which means that we've got one that's dead, convulsing on the floor from the heart explosion. We've got one that's stunned on this round and one that is smiling at Simeon. So I think you have initiative. So Ilbert. You're muted. Still muted. Victor?
Thought I was unmuted.
Yeah.
Does anything different with him being stunned?
Oh yeah, you get a plus 25 to hit him.
Okay. Okay. I swing at him and I hit him for 175.
So this is a kind of cock back and he's staggered. You came up and hit him, and then Bogomil leapt up and also smacked him, and as he staggered, you'll pull back and you will just land that blow on his shoulder, and he will, try to claw at you, but he didn't even get a chance, and he drops to the ground. And he is out. And so we've got these 2 dead ghouls and this other ghoul that is sort of standing there transfixed right now.
Hello, my good friend. My name's Simeon. Did you know that your 2 companions had been influenced by evil magics and were setting to steal whatever you hold most precious? I stopped them, though.
My bones?
Yep, they were after your bones.
My gibbets. My gibbets. And he kind of runs over to this pile that he's got neatly organized of the clothing and stuff, and he kind of pulls, and he's got some sort of wet, fleshy bits in there.
Yes, all those. They were trying to steal those beautiful things from you.
No.
But they're dead now, and I suppose you can have their bones. So isn't it a lovely day for everyone?
Picks up a bone, starts gnawing on it. Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, so you're just going to do that in front of us. That's okay. That's lovely. Could you perhaps...
Holds the bone out to you.
Oh, thank you so much, but I already gnawed on something before we set out this morning. But perhaps if you save that one for later for me.
It comes up closer by you and kind of does that, like wants to whisper something to you.
Yes, you're very smelly.
We could kill them and eat them. There's a little one that's tender.
That's a good plan. But you know where the best place to kill them and eat them would be?
Where?
In the shiniest room in the ship. That way we'd have really good mood lighting for the whole meal. Just think how surprised they'd be. Do you know surprise does make the meat tenderer? Definitely true.
So if you're talking to this thing and interacting with it, and its mind is weird, like it's kind of not fully formed. There's something very strange about it. Well, what are you three doing as Simeon has a whispered conversation with this group?
I'm preparing to cast again.
Bogomil checks out the door on the right.
So it looks like I'll door on the right. So this is a bigger door. Do you want to go ahead and open that?
So it's bigger and just has a handle and nothing, like no weird runes on it or something, or danger signs.
Now it seems like it must go into like a main corridor from there.
So Bogomil opens it.
Okay. I will reveal the hallway. And it's a large sort of access hallway, and there are various doors across from here. What are you doing, Ilbert?
I think I dash over to Simeon. What in the world are you thinking? And I'm kind of pulling back, and I like probably lay into the last ghoul because that's
what? No. I'm
it's
making friends with
disgusting.
it. He's going
It's
to lead us.
dangerous, and you're too close to the thing.
He's going to have a hard time leading us with that sword through his head.
I don't think he's smart enough to lead us anywhere.
He's incredibly smart. Look at how handsome and charming and not foul-smelling he is.
Nope, not at all. Yeah. I'm disturbed by him, and that does not look tasty.
Definitely the incisors of a born trail leader.
So, Simeon, it does look like Ilbert's going to put this ghoul out of its misery.
Yes. Yep, that is the plan.
I'm going to try and Aikido the ghoul out of the way.
Okay. So it looks like we've got kind of a conflicting situation here.
So you're gonna set him up for my shot then, right?
Probably.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a simple contest.
Okay.
You roll with your sword bonus, and you roll with your Aikido bonus, and the winner gets to determine what happens. How does that sound?
Sure.
Sounds great to me. Here you go.
I got a 72.
So, you go to grab Gloomy, or whatever you've named him in the 30 seconds he's been your friend. But
We're not friends.
he will be cut down in his flesh-eating prime by Ilbert.
Awesome.
His hand
stopped casting.
his hand will kind of point out towards the hall as he falls.
Oh, Scaly, no. Oh. Why are you guys only murderous against people I make friends with?
Because you make friends with the wrong people.
What are these bodies? Are these like other adventurers? Do they have anything like with them that tells us what they are, or do they have any loot?
So we'll take a look around. It looks like some portion of this seems to be like traveler's clothing, like scavenged from, maybe they go out and hunt on the dunes. Has that kind of look. So that's part of it. But then you'll also see there's a lot of eld clothing and bits here too.
Okay.
and it looks like maybe even the Eld are trying to get in here, because it's clear that they fought with the Eld.
Interesting. Okay. So of the Eld that we've found here, do we find anything that looks like maybe a key or some kind of signet, or the thing that would be needed for identification?
Not yet. What
Okay.
you will find that buried in amongst these pieces is you pull out is these golden sandals. They're
Ooh.
beautiful, of high quality workmanship. They're clearly not magical, but they're you will recognize them as like a Kirsten Jar exclusive made sandals.
Oh, excellent. I'll go put those in my hope chest when I get back home. I'll tuck them into the same pocket where my egg is. They're like sandals of destiny.
They're probably worth a chunk of money once you get the blood off.
No problem. I have all the skills for that.
So search the room, has a weird vibe to it. You found some treasure. There's a hallway before you. There are multiple doors in that, again, with those turns. So how do you wish to proceed?
Wiping a single tear away from my eye, I stand up and say, Scaly's dying wish was to show us the shiniest room in the boat, so let's follow his request and go that way. I say, pointing the way that he at the end.
We aren't going to check the other rooms here?
Well, if it's the shiniest one, it's obviously the most expensive. I don't understand why you people have these doubts about Scaly. He was just looking out for our my best interests.
I just wondered, because it seems like the Elds seem to be trying to get in here, so there might be something of value right here.
Well, I mean, there were those tacky sandals that I didn't even want anyways, but surely there's things of value all over the place.
So our attention is split between what? The hall and this other door with the wheel?
So you have, right now, you've got 2 doors you haven't checked in this room.
Yep.
And you have a hallway, a door that you've gone through that leads into a hallway with multiple doors on the far wall.
Does it look like this has had like lots of traffic through here, or is it just...
It does look like it's the crossroads, because based on let me just kind of mark this here for you, because I think if you check this, I will reveal this. When you kind of check this far door, it leads to a round room. There's a tower.
Okay.
Kind of stairs.
And
like the entryway that you saw from on the ground floor from outside.
Okay. And which way is Scaly pointing?
He was pointing over this way to the...
So, I mean, obviously he wanted us to go through like this door.
I suppose I will go along with checking out where Scaly was pointing, with the big eye roll and the sarcastic comment.
Look, it's the absolute least that you owe him for decapitating him.
It does seem like the absolute least.
Okay. Okay. I am pretty sure he would have taken my bones just as he would have taken yours. I don't get your friendships. They don't make much sense.
There's various muttered conversations as you forced kind of come out into that hallway. There are multiple doors in the far wall. One sort of up to your left by itself, and then 3 more down to your right, a little more closer together.
I'm confidently turning towards the right in that first door.
You're sure that's the right one?
Confident.
Okay.
So we're going to assume the same procedure that you listen at the doors, then you throw them open. You'll get to this doorway, listen for a bit, won't hear anything from inside. You can throw that open, and it will reveal a rectangular room. There's debris here, and the whole room is just covered in scorch marks. Just at a glance, by the little tatters of the wall and the maybe bits of bedpost broken and things, this might have been like someone's stateroom, but something happened in here. Some kind of magical explosion, and everything in here has been reduced to cinders and ash.
It was an assassination.
Well, look, obviously I'm not perfect at interpreting ghoul gestures at this point, and he was missing a head right then. Maybe he meant the left door.
Yeah, this is a very brightly lit room. I can tell.
I imagine it was at one point. Look at all the scorch marks.
Yeah, I believe you.
Let's go. Let's take a look at the next one, or the left one.
Head back up the hallway.
The lone door up at the end.
Yeah.
You will listen at the door, Bogomil. Pretty sure you're not hearing like anything moving around, like more of these ghouls from the room, but there's a weird, like you're hearing a low sound in there that is somewhat unusual.
Low and melodic, or low and growling?
Not melodic, more like a kind of a thrumming of some machine or magic or something in there.
Bogomil's interest is piqued. He opens the door.
Okay. Let me reveal areas here. It is a large room, a couple of doors off from it. But what you will see here, it's a good 60 feet long, 20 feet wide. And there are these rows of these organic sacks. They're like great big sacks that are semi-translucent. There are attachments that run from them up to the wall, and they're kind of resting on these holders. And it looks like when you kind of look in, that there are ghouls, like proto-ghouls in these sacks.
It's like an immune system for the ship.
The thrumming you're hearing is sort of the sound of the ship itself and sort of whatever is growing these things in here. There are 4 dozen of these sacks here.
We should destroy them.
They are potential friends of Semyon. Be careful.
That's a lot of people to make friends with. Maybe we just don't touch them for the moment, because that could set them all off. Did anyone else expect this place to smell like this from the outside? It looked really nice.
Oh yeah, the smell is awful and organic, and it's also humid in here.
Are they all in the same state of development? Are there like fetus and fully grown ones, or?
You will see that there definitely some that are more further along the gestation period, and some that are more fresh.
Are these food for the Eld? Is this a cafeteria?
Oh, that would be horrible. but no. But that's the most horrible thing I've ever heard,
I
Sherry.
was gonna
Thanks.
say,
They're horrible.
sounds like a good fit for some superior multi-dimensional species that, yeah.
These might be like servants or guards, and something has gone wrong.
Gotcha.
Is there an easy way to just, how should we say, end the gestation of the ones that are out here? Like, cut off the connection or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you could do that. Do you want to do that?
I think that makes sense to do.
So here's the thing. You can easily do that. When you cut that, it will deflate. And what you will get is all of that liquid and glue and bits will come sloshing out onto the floor here.
Oh, Semyon, this looks like the kind of thing you'd be really good at.
Door, get a door. Oh my God, out of this room.
Which way do you want to go, Semyon?
The closest door, probably.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right down here, the Scaly was pointing at this big empty void that's not filled with smelly goo.
Okay. So you'll kind of throw that open there, and so you throw that open, and you're like, okay, this has got to be better. And you look inside, and this whole room is just filled with a black tar-like substance, and it looks like you see these like grapefruit-sized black nodules. Any light that you have kind of diminishes in here, and you'll hear like boom, 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 boom from inside this room. It's thrumming with life. What do you want to do?
Slam door closed, turn lock. It's just a broom closet. It's nothing. Let's not go in there ever again.
So the rest of you, Bogomil, how do you want to? What are you doing? And then let me talk with Ilbeard.
I got all over my shoes.
I'm checking the northern door.
Okay. A quick opening of that will reveal that there is another hallway that goes to another section of the ship there.
And the door, on the map, it looks a bit special.
It looks heavier than some of the other doors.
I wave Semyon. It's clear here. The smell is much better.
That's a good way to
And
get moving.
I mean, these guards or whatever they are, they have to guard something. They're not guarding black pulsating, I don't know, scorch things.
Nope, no one said anything about black pulsating. I don't recall any. It was a broom closet.
And Ilbert, what are you doing?
I think I want to have a peek in the other door from this room.
Okay. And you'll open that door, and there is a room filled with a black tar-like substance on everything with these black grapefruit-sized nodules. The light is and you'll hear that thrumming, maybe lower, like this is a backup set of internal organs for the ship.
I'm like, what in the world is this? And it's like,
we should kill it.
And I'm like baffled. It's all organic and everything in here. It's like, I don't know how you found a broom closet. This stuff is nasty.
Bogomil and Semyon have moved into that hallway to move on. I will assume that you have dispatched a goodly number of these things, Wildemir.
Yeah, I mean, it's a destructive thing, and it's something that she has the skills to do, and it needs to be done. She'll look in that tar black thing, and she's like, "Oh, that's where the ship's brain is. We should probably get rid of it because it didn't like it when I put cracks in the ship." So
you're probably gonna like it less when you hurt this room, though, too.
Yeah, because it would be killing it, right?
That's my understanding. Yeah. What's going to happen to the ship before we get out if we do something to this room?
It won't have any antipathy towards us. It will just be a structure.
That's one way it could go. It could well, not really decide. It could collapse on us too.
So let me pause you
That
here for
would
just
be
a
more
moment.
destruction, though. I mean, that would definitely be more destruction.
Semyon and Bogomil, you on that hallway, you're kind of looking at that largest door. They're kind of back in that room talking and so on, and debating about lobotomizing the ship. And you will see the spinner on this door in front of you begin to turn very quickly.
Bogomil turns back and ushers Semyon to follow him. We need to set an ambush.
Oh, yes. Back in the slimy... No, it's fine. It's great. I'm already soaked. Oh, God.
So you two will duck back into that room, and you'll see that door kind of get thrown open as you kind of fall back in. Wildemir, you and Ilbert are in this big room here, and that door back here, the one you guys came through from the big corridor, it gets thrown open, and you will see there are a horde of these ghouls that are moving in on here. So we're actually going to go to initiative right now.
Yeah, who wishes we had a friendly ghoul to speak for us now, huh?
What's the, it's a 2d10?
It's 2d10 plus your initiative bonus.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have spoke on our part. I'm sure he would have spoke very favorably.
Don't talk like you knew Scaly. Scaly was a unique and beautiful individual.
He was unique.
Wildemir, what's your initiative?
17.
Bogomil?
20.
Semyon?
11.
Ilbert?
16.
16. So Bogomil, you've fallen back into this room, brought Semyon with you, and you kind of look back and you see these figures coming in, and you hear that noise from that hallway. What do you want to do?
Is there a way to close the door where we just came from, the northern door, to barricade it from our side? Is there a key or something?
It doesn't look like there's any kind of key. You could probably try and get it and hold it to keep something from coming in. Or you can try and bust the mechanism.
Yeah, I'm trying to wreck the mechanism.
Okay. Then I think that's going to be pick locks on that.
All right, let's see. Do I have that? Pick locks 25.
Okay.
Give it a go.
Let's have you roll.
Uh, 100. A 104.
So 104. So you get this kind of braced. When you feel the thing kind of grab on the other side of it, you can tell that your thing is going to hold it for a couple of rounds. Essentially, it's going to be a couple of rounds before this thing can get through. But whatever it is on the other side of this is strong. But
That's
you've
okay.
essentially created a barrier for at least 2 rounds for yourselves. Wildemir. Muted.
I take out my oil lamp. It's my adventuring gear.
Okay.
I essentially light it.
Okay.
Then I empty the oil out into that room and toss it in there to set it on fire.
Okay. So I'm going to say on this round, you're getting essentially the oil opened up, ready, and dousing in there.
Okay.
Okay. Ilbert.
I'm gonna. I'm assuming broom closet meant really nasty, very black, disgusting room.
Probably.
I'm just kind of because of the layout. It's like, well, I'm gonna grab this other door and look in because Wildemir's probably got a good idea at this point. I mean, yeah, destroying it before things were coming after us might have been questionable. Destroying it now that they're coming after us is probably a good idea.
Okay. So you'll move to that other door and, throw that open. And again, yeah, it looks like another set of these black organs.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah.
That from where you're at, Bogomil, you see that metal getting wrenched on that thing. It can't quite get through. But these ghouls flood into the room where you guys are at right now.
And what is Semyon doing?
Semyon goes after they do.
Oh, okay. So, like, how many are there?
Right now, there's going to be 6 that are going to get in the room with you guys. I just wanted to tell you where he is because you went at the start of the round to get that door locked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bogomil will, as soon as he can act, will attack the ghouls.
Okay. So we're gonna split some attacks. Right now, what is your defensive bonus there, Ilbeard?
My current defensive bonus is see if I can find it here. So that's my 5 plus the shield, so 30.
Okay. So 30. So essentially what you're going to get is you're going to get about half this pack is because you're the closest person.
Yep.
Is going to come in on you.
Okay.
Let me do this.
So I can hold them off, get the shield up and kind of blocking.
Okay. So that's going to be that 30. So that's 20. 118. So you're going to take 10 points.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll the tiny crits on you. And you're going to take another 6 points. And you're bleeding 2 hits per round. Essentially,
oh, nice.
They rush up and are clawing at your legs. What is your defensive bonus, Sherry?
5.
5. So this.
I'm not conducting an attack, so can I use my OB for that? Or not? I don't understand.
OB, half your OB because you're also doing the oil thing.
Okay. Thank you. That is very generous. So I think, hold on, it's like 53, but of course my sheet has closed. So let's see here. So that gives you, yeah, 55. So that's 25, 28, 7 or whatever. 28.
That. And your armor type 1?
2, the worst.
2. Okay.
The one that actually invites damage.
So gonna do that. So you're gonna take 10 points.
Okay.
And an A slash. You are lucky on the A slash. Essentially, hit you for +4 hits.
Okay.
And they have initiative, which we're not going to worry about that in a second. What is your defensive bonus, Boogamil?
The defensive bonus is 5.
Okay. And do you have your shield out?
Of course.
Okay, so 25, so that's 35. And what's your armor type?
8.
8. That is going to be 3 points of damage. And Stemian, what is your defensive bonus?
10 plus, I think, 20 for shield.
Nice.
20 for shield, yep.
And your armor type is?
13.
13. So that's going to do 4 points of damage.
All right.
So they rush into the room. There's half dozen of them. 3 of them swarm over your fighter, and the others kind of grab for open meat on the others and are rushing in. Semyon, you're the last one to go in this round, and then we're going to wrap around to the next turn.
Is there one currently in the doorway?
Right now what you see is the 6 that are here. The doorway's probably clear right now. If there's a second wave, they're still making their way up.
And are there particular like hazards or negatives for casting in combat in this system, or casting in melee?
Not as a mentalist, that wouldn't be an issue.
Okay. Then I'm gonna try and keep my shield between this guy and me and start casting and wait for someone to appear in that doorway.
Okay. So you're doing a prep round, so you won't be fast casting. Or if at some point you want to take an opportunity action before your next thing, you can say, I'm going to fast cast and now take that resolve. Does that seem cool?
Okay.
Okay. Boogamil, there are 3 on your fighter, 1 on each of your companions. The doorway is blocked over here. The other one is open. What do you want to do?
If I would cast Calm, is that for a larger group or is it just for one object?
Calm single target.
And how does it work with splitting my attack and defense? I can go either way.
Yeah, you could. So what's your attack bonus with your sword?
It's 85.
Yeah, so you could put a portion of that into defending yourself from attacks and then make an actual attack roll with whatever you keep.
Yeah, so I do 50 for defense and 35 for attack.
Okay.
And the reasoning is to hold them off until the magic users do something very destructive.
Like a plan. So let's have you go ahead and roll your attack roll with the 35.
A 115.
Oh, that's a pretty good one there. So 110 on 8. So you will run it through. Go ahead and roll your B puncture critical, just a D100. Wildemir, you're going next. 85. So this thing, you get up on it and you cut it across the side and it starts bleeding. Not entirely unlike the sort of organic sacs. So there's more of that stuff coming out here. And it looks like it's in very bad shape right now. It looks like it's not going to be able to parry for a couple of rounds. It's going to be completely open to the attacks. So kind of run it through. Wildemir. Muted.
Okay, I've gotten the oil spread around. I cast the flaming lamp into the oil hoping to catch this horrible Gru on fire.
All right, let's have you make just a straight roll.
I have a destruction skill.
That's right, you do. Let's have you roll with your destruction. So that will catch on fire, and for all of you, immediately the ship convulses again. And it starts like it's starting to tilt like you're on a sea right now. And it is reacting, and you'll hear screeches now kind of echoing through hallways as that fire catches on the primary organs on this thing. And it does not seem like it is digging that at all. You'll probably see some of these black pustules on the walls burst, and they're kind of spraying out something that looks like an ooze that maybe some kind of retardant that's trying to defend itself with right now. Eelbird, it's got really Cronenbergian right now with the organic vessels and all this stuff. What do you want to do? Got 3 of them on you.
Yeah, I've got 3 of them on me. I want to see if I can. I'll attack them, but I'm more intent on pushing them back towards the door. I want to get them back to a choke point.
Okay. So how much of your offensive bonus, your attack bonus, do you want to put into essentially doing that pushing?
If I can take, I'll go ahead and put all in on pushing them back.
Okay. So let's have you make a roll. We'll look at the value and we'll see. We'll kind of judge the effect based on that. How does that?
Sounds good to me. Oi.
So again and subtract.
Ouch! 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 Ouch!
Unless you have a hero point that you want to
have a fate point.
Yeah. I'm going to use a point.
Damn it!
I have 2 left. So what does that let me do? That lets me
start. We just do start again from the start.
Reroll.
Yep.
Okay. Not a lot better, but
so
not a.
Of the 3, I'm going to say you'll be able to kind of push back on one of them such that it won't be able to attack on this round. But the other 2 are still going to be pushing in on you.
Okay.
Does that seem fair?
Yep.
All right. Then I believe we go to the ghouls. So we've got 2 on you. What's your defensive bonus with just your shield? There,
30.
30. Okay.
So I've effectively ringed myself with these things.
Yes.
That's good. Skill.
Oof. Almost didn't open end on that one. So that's going to be 1 point and 14. That. And then 3 points. And you're bleeding another hit per round.
Okay.
Essentially, they don't get good traction there to swipe at you.
So when I'm bleeding per round, when does that take effect? My turn?
When we come back to your action, you'll lose that many hits.
Okay. So I'm
right now,
I'm already down 2 from bleeding from last time. Okay.
Right. So we've got those. The one that is on Bogomil is stunned, so it's not going to be able to act on this round. So we've got 1 on you, Sherry. What is your defensive bonus?
It's 5 plus as much as my OB as you will let me use after flinging that lantern.
A new round, so... Oh, no, we did that on this round.
Yeah.
This is on this round. So again, it'll be the half, so 28, so 33. So this plus 17. That's not a good roll. So it's actually not going to get the smack in on you. with that because it's only got a 34 total. What is your defensive bonus, Semyon?
New round, so shield up again, 30.
30. Okay, so this plus 20. So that's 109. And your armor type 13, right?
Yes.
You are in good shape there for handling these claw attacks from these things.
Aha!
That means you're going to take 10 points.
Oh, gee.
And the B slash. And you're going to get a +4 hits, and you're bleeding 2 hits per round. Essentially, it gets that claw in under that chainmail and digs some of those black talons are covered with that ooze and gets it under there and starts to try and grab, like it's trying to grab your internal organs to pull those out.
Ow, no, I need those. Those are mine. First time I've really been hit.
That door with the wheel, you'll hear the grinding as it turns. Something very, very strong is behind that, and that's starting to give way. It's your action, then, Semyon.
All right. Still no one in the doorway?
Still no one in the doorway, though. Right now, one of them has been pushed back by Ilbert. So he's kind of unattached and out in the open. And then you've got the one that's in melee with you.
So how's it work changing up a spell I was preparing?
Since you didn't tell me what spell you're preparing, then you can just say, well, I was preparing this. That always works in our game. I didn't. You can feel free to change that.
I was definitely preparing a shock for this horrible thing in front of me.
All right.
So, ooh, that's a 91 on casting roll.
Oh, so that will definitely go off. Let's use that roll as your crit roll, shall we?
All right. Well, that's a electricity crit.
Okay. So here's what a 91 is on an A electrical crit. Hip strike. Plus 10 hits. Foe is stunned for 3 rounds and is at -50 due to shock and nerve damage. So what does that look like when you cast that?
I think it's his like it's sort of a neural network overload is where the electricity comes from. So there's this arcing electricity around his head as his brain gets used for the first time in who knows how long, that shoots down his body.
And he'll stagger back. There's that smell of burning as it kind of staggers against the wall. It's not going to be attacking anytime soon. So let's wrap around to Bogomil.
I think just to be sure, Bogomil will kill the one that is slightly stunned before him.
Okay, roll. You get a +25 to your attack roll.
Do I have to spread defense?
You can decide to keep
around.
Defenses. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Had a little roboting.
Yeah, the numbers around decision, and then that.
Yeah, we're getting. I think you might have to drop and come back in. We're getting a little bit of roboting from you, Horst. We'll give him just a second. So after him, Wildemir's going to go, and then Ilbert will resolve. That's the first time you use that shock.
I like it. I've wanted to roll on a crit roll at some point.
Well, 91 is a good place to start with that.
Yeah. But yeah, I was aiming for a hesitation to try and like Three Stooges some people up in the door.
Right. So Bogomil, you've got the one guy who's wounded in front of you. There's a free target that your fighter has pushed off. He's got 2 on him. There's 1 on your sorceress, and the one that's sort of by your mentalist has kind of dropped down. So what would you like to try and do this round?
Yeah, I want to attack the one that is stunned, the one that is before Bogomil.
Sure. It doesn't look like anything's going to attack you on this round, so if you want to go all out with your shot, you can do that.
That was the idea. So plus 85.
Okay, and plus another 25 from the stun. So just don't fumble.
85 plus 25 is 110, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, 180.
So what does it look like? What does that finishing blow look like from you?
So Bogomil just cuts the with a swipe, cuts the head off the ghoul.
Shook, and it will go down and it splashes in the gore and the grue on the floor. That's probably now a couple inches thick, okay, from all of the various things in here. There's a wet sort of splashing as you're going around here, plus the smell of the internal organs of this thing burning that's pouring out in black, acrid smoke from this one room. Yes, good question. Wildemir, speaking of destruction.
Yes. So I noticed that there's that really big, strong thing that's trying to enter the fight. I'm going to pull out my trinket. After a lifetime of being cursed by my sisters, I have my father gave me a gift, and essentially what it was is a door wedge. So essentially I can keep, someone from coming after me if only I can put a door between myself and it. So I'm going to run over there with my lovely, gifted, ornate door wedge and jam it into that door.
Let's roll for effectiveness.
Oh, please.
Yes. It is Rolemaster.
73.
Okay.
Not bad.
So you've got that kind of jammed in there. That this thing, whatever is on the other side of this, is massive, and that door is kind of giving way. But you kind of jam that wedge in there. So when it goes, it's going to have to roll rather than just ripping the door off the hinges on this round. It's going to have to roll to see if it can do that. Sound good?
It's all I got.
Okay. Though you do have a thing attacking you, but.
Right.
Ilbert, you get 2 on you.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can kind of push those 2 in up with the other one. I kind of want to clump them off towards the door as much as I can.
Okay. Let's have you make that roll with your offensive bonus again.
Yep.
So that's definitely better. I'm going to say that you can kind of push and get control, like over the maneuver and movement here, kind of pushing them back. One of them is going to get a swack at you, but you've got the 3 of them pushed back using your shield and your sword and forcing them back. You got that plate armor that's helping you get that weight behind it. And one of them is going to take a swack at you. So that you've got that with your shield. So that plus 20. Ooh, that's a good roll.
Thanks.
So that's going to do 5 points.
Okay.
Unbelievable neck strike knocks foe down. Vein and artery are severed. Foe takes 20 hits per round and dies after 6 inactive rounds.
Holy shit!
Or use a fate point.
Do you have a fate point left?
I have 1 left.
Would you like me to reroll that?
I think I will do that. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Holy shit!
It's not
Plus
the
2
damage
hits.
that'll kill you. It's those.
There is this moment where you see his claw come up and like you have a vision of you just
Gets
blood everywhere. But instead, it does 2 more hits, and you're taking another 1 point per round bleeder.
okay. So I'm up to 4 per round.
And you're out of hero points.
Yes, I am.
And so the one that was on Semyon is recovering. The other one is dead. We've got one on you, Sherry. So we'll essentially do that same half thing. 6 plus that. I'm just hoping my luck would continue on that. So that's going to be 46. So it's going to be 6 points.
Okay.
And the D tiny.
Oh.
Plus 1 hit.
Okay.
So this thing kind of follows up behind you and does that. Semyon, your action.
All right, so quick question about a spell. I know when to use the Clot spell now, but the Clots say, Clots a wound to reduce hits per round by X, permanent after 1 hour. If caster is unconscious, the spell will operate without concentration. Does that mean it's a concentration spell? Permanent after 1 hour mean?
Oh, what that is you can activate it on yourself to reduce your hits per round. And it means that, let's say you got knocked down and knocked out and you were bleeding, that spell would automatically start to affect self-control and stop that from happening.
But is it a concentration spell normally? Is that what that last sentence means?
I'm going to say no, that it isn't concentration.
And what's the permanent after 1 hour mean?
Oh, that means that sometimes with some of the Clot spells, that you can, if you do it in combat, it will kind of rip it open. This one, means that it'll settle in pretty easily.
Gotcha.
Don't have to worry about tearing.
Okay, cool. Not going to do that right now. Instead, you're trying hesitation on one of the ones on Ilbert.
Okay. So roll your fast cast. Oops, that's a decent roll. 4 versus that, so he needs that or higher minus that. And he's got that for things. So yeah, he's not going to resist that. So that's by 2.
1 round. 10% fail, minus 50 to initiative, and has to parry with at least half of his offensive bonus.
Yeah. So one of the 3 that's on you, Ilbert, kind of see that glow that indicates that Semyon has done something, and it's kind of pulling back like it's not sure what to do, like it's super confused. And now the door. You hear the roar on the other side of the 4-armed giant ape as it like tries to get it. It's like, oh yeah, I got it now. And you hear that kind of like it really jams it tight, like that wedge gets in there, like it can't get it, and it's like, arr, arr, arr. All right, Boogamil.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer ape.
The ship is still shaking and convulsing, and you actually hear sounds like maybe things are starting to fall apart here.
So there are the three ghouls on the western door.
Yep, those are the one that Ilbert is going to push back to there.
And I'm supporting Ilbert in his efforts. There's the one that is under a spell.
Yeah, he's essentially defending right now. He's put his attack into defending. So there are 2 that are open and 1 that's defending.
Yeah, and the one of the 2s that are open, Bogomil will attack with all the 84 he has at his disposal.
Awesome. Let's see you make that roll. Ah! Let's see the camera fall. How about that?
That's 130.
130. Let me get this set back up. When it tilted it, everything. That was a special effect.
The Dutch angle.
Yes. All right, 130 with that on armor type 8. So that's a 17 D-puncture. Go ahead and roll your D-puncture.
A 33.
33. So you will hit him, and he is bleeding. He does do some like hit that slash on him, get him, and you don't take him down, but he is bleeding and has taken some concussion hits from that. Wildemir, smoke roiling, the ship not digging it, White Ape upset, ghouls in here. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm a sorceress, so essentially the most important thing to me is getting that other part of the brain in trouble. So I think can I cast through that door?
No.
Okay, so I have to.
I had knocked that other door open.
Oh, you did?
The 3 came.
Oh, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
Oh.
so yes.
So
I
can
was gonna,
see
I was
this
gonna
thing,
do what you were doing with the oil, and then the other 3 came in and kind of jumped me.
Okay, so so yikes. So I'm gonna try. Shit, I got this one on me. There's not much I can do. I kind of need to get rid of it. Shit. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do is I will try vacuum.
So you're going to fast cast vacuum while you're engaged in melee.
Sounds like a good plan.
You get
okay. What is the significance of doing it while I'm in melee? What is the additional problem?
So once you're in melee, you're going to take an additional -10 if you're engaged and trying to cast.
All right, then I'll stab it.
Okay. You actually have a weapon?
Yeah.
I always forget that.
I'm not that awful at it.
And what is it that you're using?
It's a one-handed slash, so it's like this little kid sword. It's but it's pretty. It's a really nice little thing. Other people would probably call it a short sword, but for her, it's one-handed slash. So she rolls a 126.
Okay. So sort of an ornate Princess Utna kind of blade.
Exactly.
Ring out, little roses on it. Okay, 126, so 116. So that's going to be a 15C slash.
Okay, I rolled a 44 for my crit.
C slash. You will hit it, cut across its leg, and it will take more points, and it is bleeding.
Okay.
But you don't drop it.
I know.
Next is Ilberd.
Okay, so we've got one that's injured on me.
One injured, one fresh, one parrying.
Okay, the one that's injured, I wanna lay into him.
Okay, make that attack roll.
Okay. 148.
Ooh, nice. So 18D slash.
Okay. And 34.
34. You will strike him to the side, and you will do enough concussion. Essentially, Bogomil hit him, and then you follow up, and it will crumple to the ground, leaving you with just 2 in front of you. The team attack seems to have dispatched it with alacrity.
I'm roughly down to half my health.
Okay, this one is going to take its claw swing at you. Hopefully, so 82 minus plus it's that, so 82 plus 25. So armor type 20 is going to be 4 points and a C tiny. And the C tiny is just 2 more hits and another point per round.
Boy, getting bad.
How much are you bleeding per round now?
5.
Ooh, nasty.
You don't think it's very much until it's done it for about 3 rounds.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I know that feeling.
You can always take a round to use the herb.
I've got healing herbs.
Yep, and you can use you can declare it as clot 3.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So those 2 are there. That one's down. That one's down. So we've got the one on you, Sherry. What's your defensive bonus?
It will be like 5.
5. Okay, so it's going to roll.
Because I inadvertently used all of my.
So that plus 45. So that's going to be there. So it'll be 125%. So you're going to take a 17 depuncture. And he cuts your leg open. Plus 6 hits. You're going to be stunned for 2 rounds, and you're going to be at minus 50 from the leg wound.
Okay, can you re-roll that?
I can gladly re-roll that.
Okay.
That's the same thing. So the rule is that we re-roll. Minor calf wound. Foe takes 2 hits per round.
Okay.
The second roll was in the same bracket. I always re-roll if we get exactly the same result. Because I could get higher and maybe kill her.
Yes.
So those do that. The ape is... Oh, wow. That's a long way around. Yeah. So the ape is... let's see. Are there any secret doors I can go through? Oh, geez. So the ape begins to run, and it's a really long run to get the other way around to where you guys to the other entryway. So that's its action. You will hear there's more noise out in the hall. The ship is starting to shake and shimmy, and it is not doing well. It almost feels like maybe it's about to slide or something. It doesn't feel stable. So, Bogomil, what do you want to do?
I want to kill the last one that's in the direction of like the western door.
Perfect. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
And I'm using like all my 85 again.
Going straight open.
That's a 127.
127 has that for defensive bonus. So 15 and a C puncture.
Mm-hmm.
So roll the C puncture.
That's a 30.
30. So it is going to have to parry this round. It's not going to be able to attack. Essentially, you kind of stab it, kind of pushing it back. The other one's defending. This one has to defend.
to try to drop this thing. So
I'm going to actually pause here.
really have-
I skipped Semyon on the last round, so let me rewind
oh,
and do Semyon's action. I apologize, Patrick.
So describe to me the ghouls left in this room up.
So right now, there's a door open to another one of those black rooms. The other one is smoking on fire, and the smell in here has gotten, if anything, worse. There are two ghouls that are kind of pinned by Bogomil and Ilberd, and there's another one that is beating the hell out of your sorceress.
And what does the stunned condition do?
Stunned means that it can't attack. It's plus 25 to hit them, and they essentially move and maneuver at a penalty.
Yeah, I'll try a Jolts one on the one in front of Wildemir.
Make that fast cast roll.
53.
So that you're above his level, so he's down by that, and it's 10% per fail. He's at a minus for resistance. So, oh yeah, he is stunned. What do you suppose that looks like when you cast that?
I think he actually goes from this like ghouly face attacking her to this sort of smiling beatific, like you can almost see the little birdies and dead flesh bits sort of floating around his head.
Which brings us, since I skipped you, but go back, Wildemir.
Oh, my eyes go wide when I see the gibbets and birds swirling around his head, and I essentially, I use all of my OB and I stab the hecky darns out of him.
Go ahead and roll. You don't fumble.
She'll murder a bitch, but she's still a young lady and won't curse.
Yes, absolutely. She has to murder them adorably. So that. Okay. Go ahead and roll your 12B puncture. Could drop him with this. 92.
That's in the deadly range.
Yes. So strike through foe's cheek. Foe drops and dies after 9 rounds of incapacity. So essentially, you look, you see the birdies, and then you put your sword up through his cheek, and it'll stagger back from that shot. That was you. Ilberd, there's just the two of them here.
There's 2 of them left. One stunned, or are they both?
Both had to parry.
Okay.
One's wounded, though. And you can hear stuff out in the hall, though not the ape. He's never going to make it.
Well, I'm going to lay into one of them, kind of crush him up against the wall and just stab at him.
Okay. Have you roll?
Yep.
162. So that's a 20E crush. Essentially, it's a messy blow there.
89.
Next strike shatters bone and severs artery. Foe cannot breathe and is inactive for 12 rounds. The poor fool then expires. So Bogomil sets him up, and you will bring that blow down on his neck, and he'll collapse to the ground. There's only the one of these things left in here. And there's the roiling smoke coming in here, and the ship is shuddering right now. Let's go. This last ghoul is... Oh, he has to parry this round. That's the last round of his having to parry from Patrick's effect. Thank you. Thank you, Semyon, for doing that. It's your action.
So, Bogomil is attacking the last ghoul.
Semyon's action, and then we'll come to you, Bogomil.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So, can I move out into the hallway and still cast a spell? The vertical hallway?
Yeah, that's a short move, so I'll let you move out into there.
Okay. So, I'll say something along the lines of, "I think the whole place is falling apart. Run!" And I'm gonna run out into the hallway and then cast a leaping to go all the way down to this door here, because there's got to be something else expensive in this place before it falls apart.
There are more of these ghouls gathering at the end of the hallway.
Like where? Down here?
Yeah.
Okay.
They come out of that door actually they come out of a secret door over here.
Gotcha.
So just want to make sure before you do that.
No, it'll be totally fine. It'll be great. It's the ghouls are my friends anyways.
Okay. So I won't even have you make a casting roll. You can make your leap down the hallway. Whee!
To this obviously unlocked door that I'll just rip right open.
That seems like a plan. I'll even re-roll initiative for the ghouls when it comes time on that.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Bogomil, you see Semyon make a break for it. Room is filling with smoke. Things are going very badly. What do you want to do? Got this one guy left who's in the room with you.
Yeah, Bogomil is trying to kill the last ghoul, just to make sure.
Makes sense. They're horrible.
Plus 85. And here we go. 145.
All right, let's have you roll your E critical.
That sounds good. I like the sound of it.
Oh yeah, E crits are good.
88.
88. Sever foe's leg. Plus 15 hits. Foe drops and lapses into unconsciousness. Foe dies in 9 rounds. It's a solid hit, and you will drop this last ghoul in the room with you. Wildemir, they finished off the last ghoul. The place is burning. It's going down. It looks like Semyon has taken off.
Oh, good. So he started to leave the thing. What I'm going to do is grab the oil that Ilberin had gotten out that he was going to throw on the other one, and I'm going to make sure there's a path of it from the fire in the backup room to the primary room, that essentially there's oil in there, and then throw the rest of it in there so it'll catch and light. And I'm going to scram. I'm going to get to the room 2 and get back out. Okay.
And what about you, Ilbert? Whoosh, oil going.
I was going to say, I need to deal with this bleeding and then run.
Okay, so you jam those herbs into your mouth like a big thing of chaw.
Yeah.
Shove that in there. Herb juice running down your cheeks as you do that.
It tastes better than those rations I had. Oh
yeah, most definitely. So we're going to go to sort of the montage here in this shot. Semyon, you land by those ghouls, got that door open. Give me the montage of your escape, and do you find anything in this room?
Let's see. I have a 40 in appraisal, so I'd like to use that as I run through to just see if anything pops out at me.
Sure. What do you find in here? Oh, 93. So yeah, you find something decent. What is it you find?
Well, I think I very obviously find the deadly china set to go with the horrifyingly sharp silverware set.
Yeah, it's in that nice box. It's all set. It's razor sharp edges. You could probably throw the little saucers. Oh yeah, beautifully made, imported.
These people have really weird feasts.
Oh yeah, they had people make them and then they killed them afterwards so that they didn't reveal the secrets of the china set. So you've got those. As you kind of book out
so
the front.
I find the piece, I grab it under my arm, and I start I push open the door into room 2, and you see me sort of come barreling through, barely holding onto this case with this wave of ghouls after me.
Awesome. And then what do we see from then you, Wildemir? What's the montage shot we get of you at this ending here?
I think what you see from her is she's running, and all of it's very hard, but it's much easier because she's super excited. She's just delighted that everything's coming down, and there's essentially that thing of where she finally gets down to the beach and she's going, "Yay!" as the ship shudders and starts to fall apart.
Awesome. And Bogomil, what do we see from you here in this endpoint escape montage?
Bogomil runs through the corridor and removes part of the Art Nouveau tapestry, or like the rug that looked really cool. Slings it over his shoulder and jumps with the rope to the beach.
Okay, yeah, and I imagine it. I mean, you've got this rolled up rug over your shoulder, like you're moving and leap out. Got that? And Ilbert, what's the last we see from you?
I think I end up just running down the hallways and finally getting back to that where we came in and just leaping over the edge and landing in the water right there.
Okay. And it's not a problem. The ship has shifted back, so this time when you land in the water, it's like over your head.
And then you see me walk up out onto the beach.
Okay. Behind you, the ship kind of starts to tilt and give, like it's not quite holding in this dimension. You will see this vulture take off, freaked out by that, and is circling. But when this thing kind of pops and disappears, that sound will drive it off. And you guys can stagger back to the beach, catch your breaths, and you have some loot from your expedition. And I think that's where we're going to stop.
You people are insane.
Yes.
So if you guys don't mind, let's take just a couple of minutes to do quick roses and thorns there. So I'll start with thorns. We'll do that quickly, and then we'll do roses. So a lot of my experience with Rolemaster is very rose-colored glasses, and there's a lot even going back that I like. Man, do I hate the way they do magic. The multiple rounds for casting and all of that stuff, and all of it is, I'd forgotten how at low levels it's such a pain. So that's my thorn there. I had really forgotten that, but I've been reminded significantly. I have a very strong sense of action value, that if you spend an action like blowing it on something, you should get equivalent payback. I don't think you do with the spell casting in this system. Victor, thorns?
Yeah, I think this kind of probably goes back to the previous episodes and stuff. The random can be too random. It's fun, it's exciting, but it can be too random. It's just, yeah,
it is all over the map.
Yeah. Well, and there are other games that kind of do the random, but I think they do random better. So like DCC, I think does random better than Rolemaster, but.
Yeah, I think that's fair. There's a sense of, okay, we walked into that randomness. There's a sense of choice rather than it being everywhere all the time.
Yep.
Patrick, thorns?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the same stuff from last time. I agree with that. If you're going off of a completely random chart built sort of world and adventure, that will sometimes be awesome, but a lot of times be weird to like, what? I definitely agree with the magic casting. In addition to the, what did it start at before you changed it at the beginning? Like 2 extra rounds to cast?
Oh yeah, 2 rounds. Yeah.
In addition to that, there's the whole thing of like every other action in the game is like a D100 plus stuff, plus things you can spend, plus problems, and magic casting is D100 plus suck it.
Yes.
So yeah, I had sort of, having played 3 games of it, like if the magic is going to be that time consuming and that hard, I agree with you. The spells need to be like twice as big at least.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird. Once you get to upper levels, it evens out, but at the first levels, geez. Horst. Thorns?
Yeah, I think roll it's in between the good games. Like it's in the 70s and early 80s, you have the bare bone BX kind of games where it no skills, and then after 2000 you have Apocalypse and Rules Light games, and that's great. And but just the lost or the late hate Rolemaster. It's stupid. Makes no sense.
It is in the wildlands. Yeah, of that. And we did long campaigns of this. It actually makes me shudder thinking back about it. But
I mean, I played role-playing games in the 90s as well with Palladium, and that's equally stupid. So I remember the times, and I'm glad I came.
Sherry Thorns?
You know, like they say, it was of an era. It was an attempt at a universal game that kept going. What we need is more crunch and more detail, and no way to actually develop an idea of what competency is. I mean, it's a linear random. It's 1d100. It's crazy times. It's like there's no, at least GURPS has like a bell curve, you know, and whereas like you get your skill up to 12 and you're going to succeed most of the time. There's never any guarantee on this until you have a skill of 110, and even then you can, you know. So it's that kind of weird thing of you have to be 7, 8 levels in before you go, okay, here's something I can sort of dependably do. And it'll only be like 3 things. But other than that, there are some joyful things about it. I just wish that the spells with resistance, like they should, I don't know. They're like really underpowered. You can't fast cast them because then you lose 25 points of your resistance power. You don't have anything to add, like Patrick said, so it doesn't matter how good you are at spellcasting in theory. It's weird.
Yeah.
So, but you know, there's lots of variety. There's lots of things to pour over and look at. So,
let me come to Roses. I don't love Slumbering Ursine Dunes, but there's a lot I really like in it. There's a lot of bits and oddnesses in it. I like the Eld. I like this barge. This barge is really weird. So I'm happy for that. I like the sort of the point crawl, and I'm glad that there are a couple of dungeons at the sort of the apex ends of the crawl. So I kind of dig that. That'd be a rose here. Is I think that the setting is kind of fun. Victor?
Yeah, I kind of like the setting. The setting's kind of it's different, which was great. I think the thing that I kind of liked, and it's because I was a fighter, I felt competent. Whereas I think if I were playing a magic caster, I probably would have felt a lot less competent in what I was doing. But the only way I could feel confident or competent of what I was doing was by pouring everything into offense. If I decided I was going to split offense and defense, I'd sort of make a hit, maybe make a little damage, and maybe defend myself some. So that shield really helped. And just having the 94 and just throwing that in every time I hit something. That's
very true.
I didn't feel too out of the water for a low level character. So.
And character was fun. I love that you got big, powerful artifact armor based on a random roll.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Patrick, Roses?
So perversely, for how much we've talked about like the badness of the randomness in the system, I sort of absolutely loved that moment when you crit successed into a crit failure. That was so weird. I don't have the words for it. Again, I really liked this character, and I love the sort of character of the game that we settled into, of just the over the top mistakes and disasters, and almost cartoonish if there weren't like horrible, foul smelling, death eating ghouls in front of you. Um, and as far as the setting, like I love the Slumbering Ursine Dunes here. I liked the weird artifacts that are hidden out here. I love the smelly, stupid centaurs. I could have spent 3 entire sessions just on this barge. Like for serious, I could have done the entire game just exploring this thing.
Right.
I love the idea of the Slavic werebears or whatever they are and their bear temple, and I still want to get there. There was a lot of cool in this setting and this game that I really enjoyed.
The other group did to the bear temple,
No!
and managed to. They found a very, very minor magic item, that magic brush, and they used that to parlay their way in. So it was pretty amazing.
Nice.
But they're at a very different thing. I mean, what's interesting to me is the character of the 2 games, seeing in parallel, is there's so much stuff to explore in the dunes that both groups saw very different things, and I think that's very cool. So yeah, there's a lot here.
Oh, and the Eld, badass.
Oh yeah, the Eld, all that Eld stuff. Horst, roses?
Yeah, I would echo what you all guys said before. I really like the setting, the Cronenberg-esque barge. I think the elves are super cool. They have a sense of style, and they're evil, and I like them.
They are pretty neat. I haven't bought they have a little. He has a supplement that's for the Misty Isles of Eld that I have to pick up, so I might do that. Sherry, I'm going to give you last word.
Yay! I liked having something to blow up at the end. I'm sorry, but having an explosion at the end of a 3-parter just seems right and proper, especially when you're a sorceress. It was awesome. Thank you.
Yep, good stuff. Good characters. I love that you guys made interesting things out of very mechanics heavy, sort of monolithic skill things. So I had a very good time with it. I'm going to stop recording, and we're going to be set.